Reaction, Governor, to the news now that Fox News projecting it will be by a likely margin of 60 net gains in the House.
60 is huge. It really isn't a surprise, though, I think, to so many who've been tracking closely kind of the mood, the sentiment of the American public, where people have been saying over and over for the last 21 months, a fundamental transformation of America that's going to lead to a bigger, overreaching government is not what people had in mind, even in '08 in the presidential election.
Are we at 60? Are we at tsunami?
To me, that's an earthquake. It is. It's a huge message sent. It is a shakeup. And then we're going to see some of the shakeup there in the Senate, too. We heard Rand Paul talk now as a voice of the people in the Senate, talking about American exceptionalism and the American dream, knowing that that dream is snuffed out when government is too large and overreaching. He doing what he can in the Senate now to shake things up and turn it around. The House will be much easier to
Governor,
work in.
we saw in the exit polls that this is not really a vote for Republicans, emboldening Republicans per se, but more a vote against the Obama administration agenda. Do you fear perhaps Republicans being too emboldened by the results of this, what looks like a huge win tonight?
No, I think a lot of lessons are being learned tonight. The GOP establishment is learning a lesson, that they have strayed too far from the time-tested truths, the principles, and the planks in the platform, so a lesson is there. I think there's going to be a lot of humbleness that will be made manifest on both sides of the aisle after tonight. Certainly the American public hopes that we see that. So, no, I don't think that,
What do you expect, though, in terms of cooperation now? If the Republicans, if at least the Democrats do not have a mandate in the House and Republicans have a provisional grant of power and perhaps obviously some gains in the Senate, but they're not expected to win the majority, at least not at this point in the evening, what would you advise those new Republicans heading off to Congress in terms of cooperating with the other side?
With the other side, it is a time for unity, and what the Republicans need to do is reach out to the Democrats, reach out to the White House and say, hey, the train is leaving the station. Come on board. We invite you to come on board, but we're heading in a different direction. So, yes, that gesture of reaching out, and may it be sincere, because the American public expects that. We don't expect people to be petty and wasting our time and wasting our resources. We want our government to be working for us. The only way to do that is with unity. But if the Democrats, as they've proven over the last 21 months, refuse to work in a bipartisan or nonpartisan manner, then the train will leave them behind.
And it's important to put it in perspective. Just a few months ago, House Minority Leader John Boehner talked about Republicans taking control of the House, and he was dismissed largely for saying that they could get to 39. And then it changed, and there started to be this momentum building. In perspective, how big a deal is this that Republicans in just 2 short years have been able to turn the entire thing around?
It is a big darn deal. There is a lot of disenchantment and some disenfranchisement that the American public feels when we're trying to relate to what government is doing to our country right now. So it's a big deal to see this shakeup, to see this turnaround, and in an effort to cooperate, I think, again, it's extremely important that the Republicans reach out to the Democrats and remind them that the voice of the people now, especially with the House of Representatives having such a mandate now for change, for more positive, leading towards conservative policy change, that cooperation is going to be very necessary. But Republicans cannot afford to compromise on principles, or 2 years from now, you're going to see a reversal of all this. We're going to give the Republican Party another shot, and we're going to make sure that they are held accountable, too, in addition to the Democrats.
What issues could there be compromise on? Because, President Obama has talked of comprehensive immigration reform, which he has not been able to get through thus far, cap and trade, which passed in the House but failed in the Senate. Obviously, jobs needs to be the #1 priority, but some Democrats are pushing for a second stimulus, something Republicans have rejected. What areas could there be compromise on as you see it?
Well, we know that there can't be compromise on kind of willing and dealing with Obama on any kind of tax increase. It's nonsense to think of increasing anybody's taxes at a time of economic woe that we're facing right now. So that's off the table. Cap and tax, that's a tax on energy, that's off the table. Where there should be some cooperation is when we talk about the regulatory agencies that basically do control everything that touches our daily lives. And the compromise there, again, though, needs to be that the Obama administration needs to know that overregulation of our industries is just going to thwart the opportunities for Americans. But there can be discussion and compromise and some reasonableness when we talk about the regulatory agencies that are so much in control, like the EPA, when we talk about what will be deemed necessary to control and not control with our energy developments. But no compromise on principle, and the American public would be extremely disappointed in Republicans, especially those newly elected, who would cave.
Governor Palin, thank you very much.
Thank you.